Hello, I'm Deborah Stewart.
I'm Jabari Stewart.
And we are the founders of Keeping It Lit Media.
Welcome to another edition of the Lit Lounge Live. Our podcast now, we're celebrating the birthday of Keeping It Lit Media, and we've now gone into 15 countries across six continents. Happy birthday, Keeping It Lit Media.
Happy birthday, Keeping It Lit.
Today's episode is titled Couples Relationship Secrets: How to Turn Conflict into Deeper Connection. You know, Deborah, most people think that conflict is about communication.
Right.
But conflict is not about communication. Conflict is really a connection issue. And connection is not something that's built on autopilot. Connection takes intentionality, and you have to have a plan in order to build strong connection.
That's true, babe, because we have a plan for everything.
Right.
We have a financial plan. We have a workout plan. We have a
dinner plans,
wedding plan, dinner plans.
Yeah.
But do we have a relational plan? That's what we have. We have a relational plan that is based on the Keeping It Lit signature framework for marriage transformation.
Speak on it.
It is made up of 4 foundational pillars.
That's right.
The first is spiritual connection, and that is fortifying the spiritual bond with God and with each other.
Yes, the second pillar of our relational plan is selflessness and service. That's simply the principle of humility, where you're thinking of others better than yourself.
The third pillar is communication and love. And what that is, it's all about building communication that fosters love, trust, and understanding.
And the last pillar is key: forgiveness and grace. This pillar is all about offering forgiveness and grace when your loved one offends you. That's where the rubber meets the road.
That's right. That's right. In every circumstance.
That's right.
These pillars are living principles based on God's word. And when they are implemented, they create a marriage that is filled with excitement, rooted in purpose, and deeply connected.
Right. And we just don't deal with marriages. So this relational plan, this framework also deals with your relationship. If you're a couple dating up or exploring, trying to get into marriage and learn more about marriage, this framework is for you. So just don't think it's all about marriage. It's about the person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with. And before you make that decision, you want to make sure that you have a framework in place to move forward, build that strong connection, because it's all about building a deeper connection with the one you love and with, of course, the one who unconditionally loves you. And that's God himself.
Now we're going to share with you how the relational plan helped the couples who attended our Keeping It Lit Live event.
Right. At Keeping It Lit Live, it's a live, immersive experience. It's really a master class meets date night experience that's designed for you and the one you love to have some guided, intentional connection time. And Deborah, this last event we had some serious breakthroughs, so we're going to share those with you today. But you know what? We did talk about conflict to connection. There was a couple there that's been married almost half a century, and they had a serious issue in their marriage, even after being married for so long.
Right.
And live, right before our eyes at that event, they were able to turn conflict into connection. We're going to tell you about that in just a minute. But before we do that, we want to share with you some experiences and stories that happened at Keeping It Lit Live that are going to just blow you away.
That's right. That's right. So the first one we're going to talk about, it's a ministry leader. And before the event, we had questions that we asked. So before the event, the first question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you and your spouse have a clear and actionable path to deepening your spiritual connection?
You know, that's a question our audience should ask themselves. How confident are you that you and the one you love have a clear path to build a deeper spiritual connection with each other? You don't have to tell us or write it in the comments.
Right.
Yeah.
And for this one, again, the scale is 1 to 10. She rated it as a 5 out of 10.
Wow. This was before the event.
This is before the event.
Wow.
Next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clear and structured is your current path to strengthening your marriage?
Write your answer in the comments.
1 to 10. She rated a 5 out of 10. Next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you have practical steps in place to strengthen your marriage?
Wow.
She rated 6 out of 10. Next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much clarity do you have right now about what it takes to build a thriving, phenomenal marriage?
And what did she say?
She said it was a 5 out of 10.
So we have 5, 5, 6, and a 5.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
So after the event, she rated all the answers a 10 out of 10.
Yes. A 10 out of 10.
Everything was a 10 out of 10 after the event.
She gained the confidence and clarity to move forward, to just say, hey, this relational plan is real. It works. And she sent us a text. We're keeping everybody anonymous because it's a privacy thing. We don't want to put everybody on blast. This is a private event. Right. But she did send us a text that we want to share with you as well.
All right. And she said, the Keeping It Lit signature framework gave us a concrete guide to follow in working on our relationship.
Wow.
No guesswork, just something real that we can apply right away to our day-to-day life.
Wow. That is confidence and clarity in a nutshell. That's the type of transformation that's going on at Keeping It Lit Live. But you know what? That's not all we have. There was another couple there. One young lady serves in ministry. Her husband attends regularly with her, happen to connect with him as well. So they came out.
Right.
And they're spiritually strong. So when asked about if they had a clear path in terms of building a stronger spiritual connection between them before the event, they rated it on a scale of 1 to 10 and 8,
right.
which is awesome. That's great.
That's good.
That's like a B plus, 8,
right.
An 8 out of 10. That's awesome.
That's high.
But after the event, they said they had a 10 out of 10 conviction that they had a clear path forward to building a deeper spiritual connection together. That is the type of transformation that Keeping It Lit Live brings to our couples.
Exactly. And also, the husband had some very powerful words after the event. Go ahead and share that.
Wow. Well, right after the event, he said, well, he was asked, what impacted you about Keeping It Lit Live? He just said simply and bluntly, it made me a better husband.
Ooh.
It made me a better husband. Who doesn't want to have that testimony? What wife doesn't want to have that testimony?
That's what every wife wants to hear. Every wife wants to hear those words.
It made me a better husband. and Deb, the following Sunday at church, he came up to me after service and he said, you changed my life. That's what he said.
Wow.
You changed my life.
That's powerful.
Who doesn't want to have that testimony? But, that's not it. We talked about a couple that's been married about 50 years, almost 50 years. I think she said they were celebrating 48 years that week. And they had an amazing breakthrough. And I want you to read her quote, like verbatim, if you can, what she said.
Okay, here's what she said verbatim. Today, I certainly learned that you should not hold anything back. That if something's bothering you, just open up. And something happened today where I realized, oh my God. That's what she said. That's her quote. Oh my God. I've been holding it in for like a week. And today I was able to share it with my husband.
Wow.
And he brought clarity. This is the reason I said those words. And it made sense. Okay? That's why you said it.
So you have to understand, This is a couple that's been married almost 50 years.
Right, almost half a century.
Right, exactly. And what was going on in that time, I remember during the experience, we were talking about our pillar of communication and love. We were actually demonstrating our mirror framework.
Right.
And what we do, we teach the mirror framework. And then we have the attendees do an exercise with each other to practice that. And during that interaction, we call them lit level ups. During that lit level up, I heard the husband saying something and the wife was saying something. They weren't arguing. It was very, very positive atmosphere, but I could tell the spirit was working and doing something. And when she said that afterwards, that was just amazing confirmation of what the mirror framework can do right there live before our eyes. And it wasn't 15 minutes. That lit level up was like 2-3 minutes. And she was able to gain clarity. That mirror framework, it took the negative emotions out of her words.
Right.
It allowed her the confidence and clarity to open up to her husband in a safe space. She felt safe and she expressed herself to her husband.
Right. So that's just awesome. Feeling safe, having clarity. So if that's the type of transformation that you're desiring, click the link in the description or the comments and get the Conflict to Connection Kit. That's
right. It's going to be an amazing experience. You know, after being married
half a century almost,
you would think, you know, they were at the pinnacle. They've been through so much, but for them to actually share that, you know, that experience where she said something happened, that was a breakthrough moment for their marriage. That was actually a breakthrough moment for us because it just showed us the power of what God has given us.
Yes.
Not only with the relational plan, but with the actual signature framework for marriage transformation and with the mirror framework. Right. So it's such a powerful tool equipping couples to do life together, more connected with each other, and doing it in a way that connects them even closer to God.
Right. Even by using that conflict to help them gain connection.
So, Deb, let's just talk about how conflict can actually enhance your relationship.
Right. That actually can happen. So this is an example. So say I do something that gets on my husband's nerves.
Okay.
But to me, it's not a big deal. To me, I'm just like, why does that even bother him? Why does that even irritate him? It's so not a big deal. But if I keep doing it, it's going to keep irritating him more, even though I'm just still thinking, oh my gosh, I don't see why. What is the big deal? It's so not a big deal. But here's where that conflict turns into connection.
Right.
I have to step back and say, wait a minute. Why does that bother him? So how do I answer that question? I go to him and I ask him.
Right.
I'm like, hey, babe, why does that bother you so much?
Right. And then I have to explain, you know, I'm accountable. I have to tell her why it bothers me so much. I have to be open and honest in my communication and say, hey, this rubs me the wrong way because of this, that, and the third right here. And, you know, once I do that, guess what? When she asks me that question, that builds trust. Yes. That shows me that, first of all, she cares about my feelings.
Right.
It makes me feel seen, loved, and heard at the same time. And then she's saying, hey, you want my opinion on something. Who doesn't, you know, want to be a talking head and talk about, you know, something that's going to build their relationship? So she's asking me to, hey, tell me more about who you are. I want to learn more about who you are.
Right. So I learned something about my husband, and then I learned something about myself as well. But most importantly, learning about him and learning his why that irritates him. Then guess what? When that situation comes up again, or if I want to, you know, start to say that same thing or do that thing, now I'm going to know, wow. You know what? Now I know why that bothers him so much. So I'm not going to do it because now I know his why. So guess what? Now that conflict, that thing that was always irritating him and always irritating me, now we're connected.
Right. It drew us closer together.
It drew us closer together.
Yeah, it drew us closer together.
That's how conflict gets turned into connection.
But if you don't have a plan, you can't lean into conflict like that. If you don't have a plan, you can't be confident leaning into conflict, because when conflict happens, if you don't have a plan, your words are going to have negative emotions behind them. In fact, your words are just going to be wrong.
Right. Or they could have blame, a lot of blame too.
Yeah, you're going to use the wrong words, and that just puts more gasoline on the fire. And the mere framework that we use, it just takes all the negative emotions out of your communication when you're in the heat of the battle. That doesn't mean you're not going to be mad, you're not going to be hurt, you're not going to be frustrated or, upset. You're still going to have those emotions because we are human, but we're not going to allow those emotions to tear the connection between us. We're going to use words that are connection driven. Exactly. We're going to turn toward each other with connection and not turn toward each other to attack with our words.
Right. And always have the mindset that we are on the same team. That's right. And there is really nothing that I would intentionally do to hurt him, and there is nothing that my husband would intentionally do to hurt me. Yeah. So we keep that in mind and we follow the framework.
That's right. Yeah. We have to say that again because you didn't hear us. Your loved one is not trying to intentionally hurt you. I'm going to say it again. Your loved one is not trying to intentionally hurt you.
Not at all.
They're not perfect. You're not perfect. And you're not trying to intentionally hurt them. At least I hope that's the case.
We hope that's the case.
We hope that. Because if you are, you don't need to be spending time together. You guys need to be on opposite poles of the planet. But you guys aren't. You guys are on the same team. You love each other.
Right.
You're going to get hurt. You're not trying to intentionally hurt each other. So what you need is that framework to go forward so that when the hurts do come, because here it is again. The checker at the grocery store is not going to get on my nerves, not going to make me upset. I'm going to see him or her, once a week, twice a week if I'm balling, but I'm going to see my wife every single day.
Every single day.
The
person that you live with is the one that is going to hurt you the most. And the person you love the most, too.
And you have to accept that. And you have to accept that. And if you accept that and have a plan to move forward, it makes it a lot easier to deal with it. Because guess what? When she hurts me, I already know that we're going to turn to a connection and use words and use our mirror framework to just bring us closer, and then we get to the makeup part. So that's all good. It's all good.
Our own personal lit level ups.
Oh, good. So click the link in the description or around the comments. Pick up that conflict to connection kit. And we want to share just some bonus information for those of you who are watching and or listening to us right now. It's fall of 2025 right now. And God has really blessed us to go forth and connect on a worldwide level.
Yes. Why don't you give a little intro about that before you say what that is?
Okay, well, I will. Okay, so let me set this up. So we believe that the marriage journey begins well before you stand at the altar and say, I do. The marriage journey, that journey actually starts when you're single.
That's right.
That's not really taught. But the marriage journey starts when you're single. What do you mean? Well, when Adam was created, he wasn't married. He was single.
He sure was.
So his marriage journey before he got to Eve started when he was single. So our marriage journey as Christians, it begins when we're single. And in that singleness, that's where we prepare for marriage. We start connecting, that spiritual connection with God.
Connecting with God, building those rhythms of connection with God and the people around us as well.
Those significant relationships you have, whether it be family or friends.
Right.
And then as you move into the actual dating stage, you begin to actually explore those rhythms of spiritual connection, not just with your family, but you begin to explore those specifically with your love interest or the person you're dating or considering having a relationship with.
Right.
So you're actually exploring ways that these things can happen. And then when you get into those committed dating relationships, you're in a committed relationship. Now you're forming intentional habits that build healthy marriage culture. You start forming these habits so that you can work together and start building something. So when you step into marriage, you can have a firm foundation.
That's right.
And then you have married couples. Of course, married couples. Married couples are dedicated and committed to building a healthy marriage culture throughout their entire journey.
That's right. That's right.
Just that simple. And so what God has given us, something that will affect the kingdom of Christ worldwide, He's allowed us
to create the Lit Marriage app.
Yes, the Lit Marriage app. Yes.
We're so excited.
Yes, it's been approved for Google Play and also the Apple Store. And we are about ready to launch it. We're going to hold off on the launch. We want to do some tweaks. Even inside the Lit Marriage app, you'll be able to find a 30-day journey that's specifically designed for wherever you are on the marriage journey phase. If you're
single, dating, engaged, newlywed, married, say 4 to 10 years, and married 10 plus years.
Right. And we also have a pathway in our journeys for those of you who are unequally yoked in marriage.
Right.
Maybe your spouse is not a believer, or maybe your spouse
has a different faith. Or maybe your spouse has the same faith, but you guys are not, on the same faith level spiritually. Right,
you guys are at different levels of faith and strength. So we have a journey even for you. And
we also have a journey for ministry leaders.
And for ministry leaders.
Because we know when you're serving in ministry, sometimes that ministry gets a little more attention than the marriage.
Right.
And that's just fact. So we have a journey for ministry leaders to help them also to focus on their marriage as well.
Right. Our relational plan is all about helping you overcome what we went through. It's like when life gets so busy, and we were at a time where our schedules were actually just running our lives, and we didn't have any time for marriage. We were showing up more for our schedules we were showing up more for our schedules than we were for our own marriage.
Right.
And it was like we were just allowing our marriage to go on autopilot, and it was going, connection was going down because busyness was just, it was nonstop busyness. And our relational plan allows you to step out of the busyness into a little bit more clarity and intentional connection time with the one you love. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's just a daily rhythm of building that connection time with one another.
And that is so important, because really during that time of busyness for us, it was just building up and building up. It actually got to the point where I actually started to question if this was even the man I was supposed to be with, because it was just, we were so busy, and the last thing we were focusing on at that time was our marriage.
That's right.
Our marriage.
Yeah,
so just like he said, carving out those intentional connection times are so important.
Yes.
And that's why we have the relational plan, and we're offering that relational plan to you.
Right. So our relational plan, go to our website, keepinglitmedia.com. Check it out. We have plenty of things here on our YouTube channel, on our podcast, Spotify, free resources as well. Check those out. But our main thing is that, when this app drops, the app is dropping late fall 2025. So that's going to be, it's going to be really soon. It's coming really soon. It's coming really soon. And it's going to be jam-packed. This is going to be the only app that disciples Christians through the entire marriage journey.
That's right.
I'll say that again. This will be the only app, the Lit Marriage app will be the only app that disciples Christians throughout the entire marriage journey, from your singleness all the way in through your married
long-term
years.
Seasoned marriage.
Yes,
that's
right. This is going to disciple you throughout the entire marriage journey.
That's right.
So we're excited about that. We're excited about just hearing from you guys. Tell us what you think in the comments about the relational plan. Tell us what you think in the comments about, how conflict and connection can be, how conflict can be used to restore connection in your marriage and make you a better spouse. We want to hear from you. So drop a like in the comments. Tell us that you want, what you want to know about in terms of topics that we can actually speak on, because we want to serve you as best we can.
That's right. We really thank you for coming here today, for listening to our podcast
and watching us on video.
And just as we just went over the amazing things at our live event.
That's right. Keeping It Lit Live is our signature event. It is a masterclass meets date night experience designed for you and the one you love to intentionally connect through guided prompts and guided experiences. Please, there's a link somewhere around this video, typically in the description and the comments, where you can just click on it, learn more about Keeping It Lit Live. And if you can't sign up for it or register for it, join the wait list.
That's right.
The page is active right now, so go there and check it out. And we hope to see you there.
See you there.
All right, until then, you guys take care.
Keep your marriage and your relationship lit.